Hello, Cody. How's it going?
Hey, good. How are you?
I'm all right. All right, let's get back to Datekit. We need to review your PR from last week. And I think you worked a little bit during the week, eh?
I did.
All right.
I found some time and I made some changes. So some of it is what we worked on last week's stream. Obviously, we added vtest, and the rest of it is that event manager. I think we decided to call it event collection, event list, or something like that.
Event list, yeah.
I started it. I kind of started it like that, and then I was like, it doesn't seem right. So I created the event manager. That's what I did. If you don't like it, we can obviously get rid of it. We can change it. It's just code at the end of the day. But the main code, this is all stuff we've already done. And the nice thing is we wrote those tests. So once I created the event manager, I just made sure all the tests passed. All right. Can you see my screen?
I can only see your IDE in Discord. So.
Can only see my IDE in Discord. Clearly, I shared the wrong thing. Let me kill that. Share, change windows. There we go. Currently sharing. Oh, or not. Let me stop sharing and try again. Windows, screen, or app. Okay. Share all application windows. Are you seeing it now?
Yep, that worked.
Okay. And if I switch to Datekit, you seeing it? Perfect.
No.
Oh, really? Okay.
Wait. Switch again? No.
So I should be seeing a cursor? No? Oh. Okay, so clearly they did an update here that is not working. Love it. This wouldn't really be one of our streams if it wasn't if there wasn't something to try and fix, right? You can see this. I can hover this, but nothing happens. I can't select that?
It's at the top of the screen if you want to share the whole screen.
Oh, I think I'm sharing the wrong one now.
Yeah.
Okay, stop, share, select. It's at the top.
Yeah.
Share.
Share entire screen. There you go.
Okay, now you can see cursor.
Now it's all good. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Awesome.
All right. So tell us what you did.
Well, like I said, just created the event manager here. So it's just a class that manages the events. So nothing really special. I did create this normalized event here. It's just because I noticed that kind of issue that you and I had where the date was a string and it wasn't
Mhm.
being. So that all this does is before I add the event, I make sure that they're a date.
Okay.
So you can see we've got the set events. So if they create the calendar with the events array, we just loop over those, normalize them, like I said,
Mhm.
and then set those events. And then we got a get events, just returning all the events. Obviously, we've got the get filtered events. This one is where we pass in the start and end date, which is exactly what our what did we call that? We had a name for it. Starts with a P.
The period.
Thank you. The period. Yeah,
Yeah.
takes it in the period. Then we just have add event and remove event. I also used a map
Yeah. I
uh,
noticed that.
instead of an array because it made it a lot easier to add and remove events.
Okay. Fair enough. So that means the event ID is kind of required.
The event ID is required to remove the event, yes.
Okay.
However, I think we could update calendar to just accept the entire event, and we just take the ID because this is an internal class, anyways. So then here's a event that's already done. Here's the view. This is already done. Where did calendar go? Should have calendar. Let's just click it. There it is. All right. So imported the event manager. And then basically, actually did a calendar options here, where we extend partial state, and I kind of let cursor do a little bit of work for us. So it didn't like your initial private read only calendar state. It preferred it in the constructor, and I actually thought it was cleaner because then I didn't have to do a bunch of defaults and then override them. I could just put something here or default it if it didn't exist. As you
Okay.
can see,
Yeah.
null coalesced. So in our case, we just create the event manager. I also did allow people, if they want to have their own event manager, they can do it. Obviously, they'd have to read our code, or we'd have to have some docs on exactly what that event manager does in case they need extra things.
Mhm.
But it is possible. I also thought it might make it easier to test, but like I said, all our tests passed, so kind of nice.
Yeah, we'll have to do some work on the docs anyway. I like we have the app that's ready to go. We can use it and start writing some docs, but we do have to start writing them.
Yeah. What are you talking about? We don't need docs. So yeah, that's all that's kind of here. We've got the events here, and as you can see, it just equals this dot event manager dot get events. And at the top, if they pass events, then I actually set those events. So I showed you the code there where we loop over, we normalize those events, and we set them. So basically, if they pass us the events, we put them into our manager, and then we just get all the events and put them in.
Okay.
And it's a get events, not filtered events. So in this case, you are getting them all right off the bat. If you'd like to change that, then we'd have to do get filtered events and pass in the period, but the period always starts as today. So I didn't know how you wanted to do that, but easy change if you want to change it. And then I just did the quick things, right? So add event is still in there. It's just this dot event manager add event. I kept get events.
Okay.
It just returns all of the events. And then I have the remove event. I did update it to ID. I noticed that we weren't actually using remove event yet in our code. So I did make it that way. But again, if we want to make it simple and just have them pass the entire event, we can.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to expose that function as well through the hook because we might want to allow people to create like
It,
extra buttons somewhere else in their app to delete an event in the calendar. You know.
yes, for sure. Um, and then I think that's all I changed. Oh, I got some console logs in here I got to get rid of. Oh, you and I added those actually. We were testing some things out. So then we have the get state, and this returns obviously this state, and then it does event manager get filtered events this dot state dot period. So this is where we actually show when we pull those events, we're
Mhm.
getting the proper events based on the period.
Fair enough.
And that's it. Oh, and then in the refresh sources, I updated this code here. Still debounces, obviously, nothing changed there. But all we have here is this dot event manager dot set events and this dot event manager set events.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Okay. So what are we working now? I think we needed to make sure that the events show in all the views.
Yes, that is the plan. Oh, I also wrote all the tests for this event manager, by the way,
Yeah.
to make
We
sure
might
it's
want to try it as well with like a couple of sources because right now so far we tried like one source.
yes. Yeah, I was actually thinking we should probably put a test in for that too. But I think before we get too far ahead of ourselves, we should fix it for all the views. Let's make it work on every view, and then let's just pump in a bunch of sources and see what happens.
Sounds good. Well, let's work on the views. We merge your PR after that, and then
Oh, you want to
we
merge? You want to do the views in the same PR?
yeah, might as well.
Okay, sure. I am actually already on this branch, so that works. Oh man, a couple things I forgot to do is one, make sure that secrets are hidden. Let me double check.
I don't think this project has a lot of secrets, but
I don't think it does it? I can never remember. I actually don't see one, so I guess it doesn't. Oh, here we go. It does. Okay, perfect. They are hidden, and I'm just gonna restart some of my extensions quickly here. Okay. All right. So if we're going to work on the events, first I got to run it. It is running. Let's get into the playground. And I assume we're going to want the console.
okay.
All
So what
right.
is our default view right now? Is it month view?
It's month view, yeah. And I don't think we have any events for December. We do have some events for November. Where are they? November 1st. So right here. So if we switch into day view and we go to the
Yeah.
first,
We might want to make the dates
there we go.
clickable on this little mini calendar.
Definitely. Definitely. So yeah, we do have one in November there, so that's perfect. Let's flip into month view and let's see if we can get it showing right here.
So
Okay.
here on the month view, I was thinking like just showing like very little thing.
Yeah, truncated text and just a sliver
Yeah.
based
Yeah.
on probably how big it is. Like I would assume that if it's 30 minutes versus 15, it should be thicker, but
Not even no. I think on the month view on the day you just show events. All of them have the same height, and then if we go too big, then we just show a +2 or like +3 or whatever.
okay.
Kind
Okay.
of like Apple Calendar actually. Apple
Can't say
Calendar
I've
has a
used Apple
similar thing.
Calendar, but
Well, they have a similar thing. When you have a bunch of events at the very end, they just show like +2 more or like +4 more, and blah blah. Like they kind
Okay.
of do that, and they just show the title of the event that is truncated, and then the time, the start time,
All right.
and that's pretty
Perfect.
much it.
Okay, so in order to show the event, that's going to be the React package, right?
Yes, that would
Cancel
make
that. I
sense.
definitely did not want to drag that in there. Okay, so we've got month view. Let me see the day view. So day view, we've got a use effect here. Wait, what is this use effect? Why do we have a use effect here? Current minute equals new date dot get hours if container dot current and container nav dot current container scroll to top. Set the container scroll position based on current time. Okay. If this is the case, though, we only care about this happening once on load?
That's a good question.
Looks like we're never using this. Let's get rid of it. And we're not using this, so let's get rid of it. We also don't need this console log anymore. I keep hitting the brightness in my screen here. Oh no. Let's go a little brighter. There we go. Containers, use effect. I'm also wondering why we have, what's the purpose of the use refs?
The purpose of the use ref.
Yeah, how come the container, container nav, and container offset are refs?
Don't
Just
really remember. I think it's to adjust the height.
it is just so we can grab it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So yes, the events are being mapped in here. So where do those come from? Probably just from use Datekit. Selected current and week. Selected current and week. Format current. Okay. And where's select? Where's week? Week.map. We map a button. What are these? Current and week. Clearly we don't need those. Okay. Well, we've got selected current and month.
Yeah, so current is going to be the date that is currently selected, and then the month is the calculation of all the days in the month that we need to display.
Okay.
Change the current date selected every time we kind of recalculate the month view because the days are different. Right?
All right.
So that shows the top of the column. You know, it's also kind of responsive, so that's why you have some SR only kind of classes.
Yeah, I saw that. And then day comes from month.days.map. Okay, so where
It's on
is
the
that from?
calendar.
class. Okay. So it's from core.
Yeah.
Selected today, current day. Okay, yeah. And then week, month. Oh, so month we actually get the days and we get the name.
Yeah.
Okay,
This
so
way you
we
get the
get,
name of the month and then all the days, which
yeah.
is just an array of dates.
Okay. So we already are mapping them.
Yeah.
And
And then
here's the
this one
events. So
is the
we just
one.
need to know if the events are there. So basically, if we just console log month.
Well,
Okay.
month will not have the events. Like you would have to do like get the events from use Datekit, I guess.
Oh, it's not attached to days? Oh, what the heck? It's
I
broke
don't
here.
think it is. No.
Node modules. What? All I did was add a console log. How's this broken? Very weird. I just realized that my bar thing is gone. What was that again? Shift D?
I don't remember.
Oh. It only works on one of your tabs?
No, it should work on all of them. But I think if you have dev mode, it's different.
I can see it only only working on one of my windows. Interesting. Okay. All right.
Is it the
Okay.
right shortcut?
Okay, so here
It's
we
Command
go.
Shift D.
That's what I was doing. Yeah, it didn't work. Okay, so yeah, we do have an events object inside here for each day.
Okay, yeah. So I guess
So
it's being fanned out already.
so we need to, yeah, so if we actually go back a month, let's see what happens. November days, and we want the first. Oh, that's not the first. So what do you got? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we want this guy. Okay, so there's no events in there. So we should be adding the events in there.
Yeah, they're probably not being fanned out.
And actually, while we're at it, let's see if we do have dot events. So we check if the events. So actually, we can do this. Yeah, there we
Yeah,
go.
I mean we can do it that way, or we could also like fetch them on the fly, I guess. But it's up to you.
What do you mean?
Well, you have an events manager, right? So maybe the events manager could have a function where we say get events, and in that get events, we pass the date that we're looking at. Maybe
Oh,
just fetch them.
that's. I mean, that's not technically what the event manager does, but it's also not exposed. The event manager is actually internal, but we could expose it.
Well, via the calendar class, right? We could do that.
Yeah, we could do calendar like calendar.event manager or whatever. But
Yeah.
as I said, it is a private piece. It's not public. But I guess we could,
It's up to you because otherwise it's going to happen in the calculation of the month.
which would make sense though, right? So basically, when we do this generate month view,
Yeah, but you would have to do it for each one of them.
yeah, because we've got events. Oh, you're right. Hmm. If we do the generate month view though, without pushing the events in here, what would be the purpose at that point? Also, this we could expose the event manager to this. Oh, these are functions. These are separate functions. Hmm. Which means it almost needs the events anyways. How did you expect to get the events from here? Currently, they're just set to nothing.
Yes. That's why I have this comment that says like add logic to fetch the event because it wasn't there.
Right. Um. Hmm. The only thing I can think of is like, well, we don't want to pass the calendar to this. It would be a terrible idea. We want, so we get the events. So how would we fetch them? We almost need, oops. We almost need to pass them in.
I guess.
But then,
Unless we do it after. So, like this refresh function, we do the generate active day, generate week view, generate month view, generate year view, and then we fan out the events after. But then there's a
but
risk that we
then,
actually loop like many times and stuff. Like,
yeah, exact. Well, then you're, I mean, it's only gonna be 30 something days,
yeah, except for the year
but
view.
that's, except for the year view. Yeah, it's fair. But didn't we talk about not doing a year view?
Maybe I'm still wondering.
Still on the fence.
Yeah,
Okay, so yeah, we definitely don't want to do it. We want to, as we build the day. I wonder, like, what do you think about passing the event manager to this?
that's something we could do. And like I said, you could have like a function on that event manager that fetches for each one of the days.
Yeah, yeah. So we could almost do like comma this dot event manager. Let's just double check here, and then we say event manager. Come on, it's not gonna pull it in. There we go. Okay, and then we'll go into the event manager, and we'll say, oh well, we already have get filtered events start date end date, so we could just use it.
We could use it, but you have to do it for like each one of the days to be able to fan them out.
Yep. But that's fine because we're already doing it, right? You have const events days dot push. You're already doing a for loop right here,
Yeah.
so you already actually have the date.
Yeah. So you get is selected, you place it as like start of day and end of day, and then you're good to go.
Uh,
Like the selected date. Yeah.
is selected is current month. Sorry, which
No, I
one?
guess it's the date. The date.
Wait, add logic to determine if the date is selected.
But it's kind of already there, right? Like that. So this comment is irrelevant. But
Mm,
you can use date. It's already there. Like if you use date,
this one, right?
that one is the date of. It
This
should be
one
the
says
current date.
start date. So there's end date.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but you see how the in the third argument of the for loop it is like set get date plus one. So
Yeah.
it's going to the next day, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
And
but we don't
so,
want that. So we want the same. Okay, so this is going to be
so it's this one that you want. That's
event
like
manager get filtered. Yeah, date and date because we
yes,
want the
but
same date.
yes, but you gotta do beginning of day, like start of day for the start date and end of day for the end date, just so it can filter the events that are
I don't know if it's that. Oh, it is
already.
within interval. Start date and end date. Start and end. I don't know if it's going to be that crazy. I don't know if
Yes,
we.
you do need to do that. Otherwise, it's not gonna filter your events. It's just gonna pick up whatever is in
All
the
right.
time frame,
Where did it go?
which is
Use.
nothing because your time frame would be like the same date with
Yeah.
maybe like a millisecond difference.
Okay,
So,
so we want date dot.
well, you could do start of the start of day and date, and then end of day date. Yeah,
Okay.
just do that.
Seems like they're already imported. They are already imported. Okay. Okay, perfect. All right. Let's see.
No, we're not really displaying anything yet, but it should
No, I'm
have
just
the events in it.
curious if.
So the
So it was
events were
the
fetched.
5th day.
It
So
doesn't have anything.
no, I didn't do it.
Oh, wait. Go back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up?
Interesting. Check the, yeah. Okay, so it's not pulling anything at all. But if you look at your console log, it looks like the event fetched what happened after.
So
Right. So if you close that object here, like close this thing, you
this
see
one.
events fetched happened later. So
Yeah,
it
I
wasn't
did.
fetched yet when it ran. So we'll need to reverse the refresh state, I guess.
So where do we call a refresh again?
Well, there's a place where we call refresh sources and refresh. And we just need to make sure that they
Oh,
are.
wait, we set the period after we refresh.
Well, we can set it before if you want.
We need to do that. It needs to be before. Okay. We also, this isn't the constructor, so that actually didn't necessarily matter, but
Yeah. So this set view has a refresh calendar, and refresh calendar is doing set period, refresh, and refresh sources. So we need to do the refresh sources prior to the refresh.
yeah.
I think we can get maybe rid of some of the console logs.
Yeah, let's do it. Probably just get rid of all of them. Okay. Still happened after. Yeah, still happened after. See it?
Mm-hmm.
So we have this dot refresh.
It's either that or there's an extra refresh that we have again. That's just refreshing. I don't know. It's refreshing after or whatever. I don't know. There's something going on, or we're not waiting for that as async.
Yeah, it is a debounce. I wonder if
What's your debounce time set at?
it's 200 milliseconds.
Just put one.
Oh, it's actually 0.
0. Oh. Well, it should run right away then.
Yeah, it should. Okay. So we set the current, and then we call refresh calendar. This sets the period. It refreshes the sources, and then calls
Yeah.
this
You
dot
see how the
refresh.
set view is calling refresh calendar, but it doesn't have an await
Where?
in set view.
In set view. Yep.
It doesn't have the await here.
So await, and that means it has to be async then.
Yes, but we'll have to make sure that this one is always run in a asynchronous fashion.
Okay. That's potentially breaking in here now. Oh, maybe not. Okay.
But it's you got to look at the view switcher.
View switcher.
Yeah, like there should be two. There's like date switcher and there's view switcher. And this one is calling set view. So it's that one that kind of needs to be asynchronous.
So set view. Calendar set view. Right here. Yeah, it is asynchronous. But we have to await it then
Yeah.
in the view switcher. Which means this has to be async. And then we have to await set view. Oh, set view is not set to be a
Yeah, because you
promise.
set the wrapping function as async and not the actual function.
Oh, whoops.
There you go. But yeah, it's supposed to be promise mouse event handler blah blah blah. Weird.
Nope. Wait. Wait a minute. Okay, let's go back for a sec. So event prevent default set view. Wait, how does this event work? Oh, right here. On click. Type promise is not assignable to type mouse.
Yeah, you might need to await that guy.
You're actually not even allowed to make it a promise, though. Wait, I didn't make this async. I think I got rid of this.
Okay, so now we're good.
And this is async, you said?
This one.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so now if we, although it's already set for us in this case,
Yes.
and it still happened after.
Yeah, there's something going on. Like I said, we look at how many console logs we have. Like we always have two. Every time you switch views, we have two. So it's refreshing the state twice.
Yeah, let me check the playground. Where's our config? Wait, this is an Next.js app, right? Playground, there it is. So if we go into our next config, we're not using strict mode. Do I need to reboot for that change?
Unrecognized key and object strict mode.
Interesting. What is it called then? React strict mode. Okay. Here we go. Hey, look at that.
Okay, that's interesting.
It's the, without strict mode, I think it's something like the, oh, I can never remember this. Maybe with strict mode, true, your event hooks fire twice, don't fire twice, or fire twice. If you put strict mode on, it doesn't. It's something about in dev mode, your use effect hooks will actually run twice, and it's like to help you catch like common bugs or something.
Interesting.
What's funny is they're gone now. Those dates. It worked for that one time, and now they're gone.
Yeah, so we have
Cool.
some other problem. So I guess the not strict mode was helping us finding this problem, which is it's not loading the events when it's called twice in a row.
Okay, so here, look at this. We don't have the events fetched anymore. Let me switch to day view. And each should be unique. Okay, that's something to look at. So we get events fetched there. Let's do month view. Okay, so we get events fetched here. Okay.
But it should, yeah, it should show it's on the first.
It's on the, yeah, December 1st. Yeah, it should be here. So we actually do have a December. Oh, look at that.
And now it's here because it was preloaded. Yeah.
Interesting.
So once they have loaded, I think we're good. But it's like in the beginning, it doesn't initially load them.
It's almost. How are we setting them? Are they set in the ref as well, or are they set in the state?
The events,
Yeah.
they should be in the state.
Okay, I went too far. There we go. Okay, so if I refresh again, nothing. I go back and I go forward, nothing. I go back and I go forward. There they are.
Yeah.
Okay, so in this case, it has to be inside of React now by this point. So let's see what we're doing. So in our view switcher,
Well, there's view switcher and the date switcher. Maybe we need to take a look at the date switcher and put an async in there.
date switcher, view selected current.
Yeah. So it changes the set current, but the set current, what is it doing? I think it's calling refresh calendar, or is it calling refresh sources? Because if it's calling refresh sources, then we need to await that guy too.
Yeah, set current. Set current, set current. Where'd it
Yeah,
go? There it
there you
is.
go. It's async. So we
Okay.
gotta await it as well.
So that means this has to be async.
Yeah, but it's gotta be tricky because it's a handler.
Handle. Oh, that's handle today. Oh, they all have to be
Yeah.
async. Hmm. Handle previous, handle next. Wait, handle previous. Oh, I see. I could click the previous. Handle next.
Yeah. And then today will always bring you back to the current date. Like today.
Yeah.
Right? But based on the view, the previous and the next don't do the same thing. Like if you're on the day view, it's gonna be subtracting a day. But if you're on the week, it subtracts a week and so on and so forth.
Right. What if what if we moved this into the calendar?
we could. We could have like a previous day, like previous date,
Well,
I guess.
no, I'm thinking literally just a function called previous,
Yeah.
and we know what the view is because
Yes.
changing the view should be synchronous. Updating the data can be asynchronous, but changing the view, like we're almost getting into this. We need like a loading state. If they switch the view, we provide some sort of loading state they can use
Yes.
while the view is being switched.
Ideally. Yeah. But we can move those two. Yeah. Like and the handle previous and handle next can definitely move to the core.
Yeah, so let's take these. I'm gonna take all these, and then
Today as well, yeah, actually.
yeah, and then for use date kit, this is what's view? Oh, view was okay. Yeah, that's fine. We can do that. Uh, selected. Where are we using selected? We weren't. Okay. So then we're gonna say today or set today, and then
Well, set
previous
previous, set next. So like let's just keep the
set
same kind of yeah.
previous set next.
This way we kind of know they are like handlers, you know.
Okay, so then this is now set previous, set today, set next. We are going to need that, but that's fine. Let's go into calendar. I'm going to open this to the side. Split right. Okay. So this guy, we're going to have set today, set previous, set next. Okay. And actually, I'm just going to paste what I had. There we go. Okay, so it's not going to be async, but it means that we need to add a state. So in here, we almost need like a loading state, I guess.
Like is loading or something. Yeah.
Is loading. Okay, and then we'll set is loading here to false. Oh, actually, I guess we'll have to set it to true.
Yeah, but you only set it to true once you start the function. So once you call refresh sources, you set it to true until it finishes.
Right. Set period does not exist. Oh, it's because I broke all this stuff. Okay. Okay, so async handle today. It's not async. It's just going to be handled today. We're going to say this dot state dot is loading is true. And then we're going to say set.
You don't set it here that is loading. Just set it inside of the refresh source, because refresh source is technically the only one that is async, but it trickles down.
Okay.
But we could call it and not wait for it. Just synchronously, we just call it, and when the promise finishes, we can just handle the result. But
Okay. This is looking correct. Okay. So now we need to import. Actually, you know what? We're just gonna.
you could also do like a.
We almost need another class for this
Maybe
part.
we'll figure it out.
Need like a view manager. Okay. All right, so that's all in. Okay, so then when these happen, we set current for all of them. That's perfect. So then we're going to go to set current. This is not going to be async.
No. This way we just call this refresh calendar, but we don't wait for it.
Yeah. Okay, so then we call this dot refresh calendar. But then this will be. So now we don't. So how do we do this part then? Because now we want this to set the loading. And then once these are all done?
No. It's just the sources that is async. So refresh calendar could also be synchronous, and you trigger refresh sources. Right? And then inside of refresh sources should call this dot refresh at the end, so that we can refresh the calendar one last time.
Okay. So take this out.
Yeah, we don't need to refresh here. And then at the beginning of refresh sources, out before the debounce, just set the loading to true. Or maybe at the beginning of the debounce, I guess. Yeah.
Like right here.
And then we do the await promise all. There you go. And then inside of our callbacks, we set it to loading to false. No, not here. I mean, I guess it would work, because no matter the result of that promise, yeah, we would still get there. So yeah, that's pretty much how we should do it.
Okay.
This way we can trigger that function that the refresh source is, but we don't have to wait for it.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. So then this. Oh, did that not automatically update? Do I have to add something? Oh, I didn't add. Do I have to add those to calendar state? I don't have to add these functions, do I? Well, you do have view, but you don't have set current. So how did it know? Like you have view here, but you don't have set view. So how did this know that it had set view?
Well, this one doesn't change the view; it just changes the date.
Sorry, I meant in use Datekit, because you have in your view switcher here, you have a set view function here, which I believe you have a set view in here. Oh, you don't have a set view in here. You have a get view. Oh, there it is. This also needs to be synchronous. Okay. Does this look right? Like you have a set view here, and we're getting set view in here.
Yeah.
But your state doesn't have it. Like this calendar state doesn't have a set view. So how does this use Datekit know? Use Datekit. Let me see. P use Datekit. Okay, never mind. Must be in hooks. Nope. It would be in. Wait, where is it then? Datekit context. Oh, you have them right here. You're adding them on. Shouldn't these just be a part of calendar state?
Yeah.
Right? Because they come directly from calendar. So in theory, I could just put them here. Uh, okay, and then we have set previous, set next, and set today. Okay. All right. We don't need this anymore. This doesn't have any props. Okay, let's see what happens. Oh, get an error. Set previous is not a function. Ah, yes. Oh, wait a minute. It's not part of the state. I see why you did it. Okay. So if I just get rid of those, go back. Nope, not that one. Where was that? Was it here? Nope. It was here. Nope. Damn it. Which file was that? View switcher, date switcher. View switcher. There it is. Okay, Datekit context. Okay, so okay. No, still, I don't understand how you got that function through. I'm getting that it's not a function, but yet somehow you were able to call it. What are you doing over there? Banning
Sorry, I
people?
was just activating some stuff. Yeah. I don't want any weird links going on, especially from Russia. Fuck no. Um. So yeah, what were you saying?
I'm not understanding how you got the function in here. So you had your Datekit context
Yes.
where you had add event, remove event, set view, set current, which all are calendar functions.
Yes.
I added these three,
Okay.
but I'm getting an error that they're not a function.
Yes, because they are not. So scroll down. Okay. Go back into calendar TSX.
Calendar TSX, okay?
Yes. Scroll back up, or maybe scroll down. Don't remember which one it is. There's one of them somewhere that will just wrap those methods, but I just don't remember which one. It's not this one. It's not this one for sure. Oh, it's the use calendar hook, maybe. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, so here you gotta kind of map them.
Oh. Does not exist on type calendar. Calendar.
Weird, because it's kind of coming from the class. Maybe it didn't like rebuild properly. Sometimes the core doesn't rebuild properly.
Okay.
That's like some turbo repo weirdness.
Yep, that's correct. Okay, so then.
There you go. So now they're available through your hook.
Okay, so let's reload. Probably compiling. Yeah. Okay. All right, so it still didn't fetch them, and it's still not a function.
Weird.
Calendar f dot current dot set previous is not a function. Ah, my bad. I forgot to change them to set. Okay. All right. Ah, there we go. Okay.
Okay. So it's still taking some time to show up, but they do show up eventually.
Yeah.
Can you try it? Load the page and just wait. Just wait here. See, there's it's not being called the first time.
I don't think it is. So if we hit this and then wait.
But it's not refreshing. So the UI is not refreshing.
Okay. And look at that. We still don't have it back yet.
Why is it taking so long to come in?
Now we have it.
My guess is that there's something somehow that calls that resets the event manager along the way.
So we call this update state. What does this update state do? Set
That just
state.
replaces the current calendar with the current state. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, but hold on. This there's nothing that waits for the is loading.
Yeah.
So basically, like we set previous, which does an asynchronous thing, and then we immediately update state, but that state hasn't actually updated yet.
Yes. But then at the end of
So we almost need something in here that listens for the change, the state change of is loading before it fires update state.
yes. The thing is, we need to wait for that stuff to run. Then it's going to call refresh, and then we need to tell the React hook, hey, the state has changed. So we need a two-way street, basically. Because here, the only street we have is if you update the UI by changing the view or the date or whatever, we tell the
Hmm.
calendar to refresh its state. But if the calendar itself has changed, we don't tell the React hook to change.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I can think of is like polling, unless you want to get into webhooks, but do we really want to get into webhooks for something like this?
Not really, but
Seems
you don't need a webhook because your query your request is running on your client.
yeah. I didn't mean webhooks, sorry, I meant WebSocket, but
So we could have a in this use calendar we could have a use effect that uses the is loading, I guess.
yeah.
But I don't think is loading is correct. Like maybe we should use something with like a status.
Oh, we could do something like this. Have an event? What if we had a subscriber in here, like an observable that we could fire events to?
We could.
Hmm. We could add something in that basically just lets the UI know to update the UI.
Yeah,
Let's do that. And it could happen right at the end of refresh. Right here, we essentially send. So it'd be like this.emit change or something, right?
yeah. Well, we just need some kind of event like
Okay.
thing.
Oh man, I literally just did the subscribe thing. So for this, we would
Do you want to pull
create.
in the RxJS or you just want to create an event bus?
Oh, we should just do it ourselves. There's no point in doing something.
Okay.
Like, we don't need a full library for something so simple, do we?
I don't think so. No, it's we could get away with like a simple event bus.
Yeah. So I'm just thinking we do like subscribe. We definitely don't need event manager, although that I see where they're going with this. So we want to say subscribe, and then we'll do, what do we want? Name.
We could just do on. You could yeah like we create an event class, right? Like
Okay.
an event bus. When we instantiate the calendar, we also instantiate like an event bus, right?
Okay.
And then we have one function that's like on,
Okay.
and this on can listen to many different types of events, and then we have those events being triggered on the event bus when they need to happen,
Okay.
and then
Okay. So
people
we
can
so we need a
subscribe
new.
by because I like this syntax that you have on the right, on the left, like calendar ref.current.on. Just be able to listen to like a refresh or whatever, and then you can just update the state.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Okay. So you want to say we want to have a function here called on.
Yeah, it just takes like exactly that, like an event
It
and a
takes
callback.
in. We'll call it an event name,
Sure.
or do you want to just call it name? Name and callback.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay. And then we'll have this dot event bus.
Yeah, just have a basic event bus.
And what would we do? What do you want to call the function? Are we
So
are we creating a whole new class for this?
typically, yeah, because
Okay.
you're gonna need that event bus to just be one,
Okay.
right? Because
So
if your event bus changing all the time, if you call emit on a different bus, then it's not gonna respond because you subscribe to the first bus. Like you know what I mean? Like it's weird.
right. Okay. I've never actually written an event bus, so you're gonna have to walk me through this one.
Well, you can do it in many different ways, but typically you create a class, you have a list of events of some kind, and
So
then you
event
have an emit
bus.
function where you can emit an event, and then you just call those events as they come in.
Like this.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Uh, then emit. Okay. Like this.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
It's been a while. I haven't written an event bus myself.
So we would do on, and then we do name callback. Although now we have to. This one will be private, I guess. Hey. Private event bus. Event bus.
Yeah.
Is it seriously not going to import it? Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, so you just instantiate a new event bus.
Yeah, so we'll go right here. And do you want people to be able to put their own? Probably not, right?
No, it's fine.
In this case, we won't be able to pass in our own for testing purposes. I guess that's not a big deal.
Yeah,
Okay.
we could just like mock it.
Yeah. All right. So then we have an on. So it's actually on. So we would be doing, they'd be giving us the function they want to happen.
Yeah, so the on
The
is
event.
public, so we do need that function here.
Yep.
And then the emit, we don't need to tell them to let them emit their own events, but we will. Inside of the calendar class, we will emit some events.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for
So I'm just
example, the
looking at the
refresh.
event bus here. We have on this dot events name equals. So if they give us the same name, oh, I see. Dot 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 this dot events name or empty array, comma callback. So we're basically allowing them to give us the same name multiple times. This dot events name. So if the name was hello, it would equal a spread of all the things inside there or an empty array,
Yeah.
comma callback. Oh, I see. I see. Yeah.
But I think it's we need an event callback kind of type.
Oh,
Well,
well,
we'll do that later. Yeah, fuck it.
yeah. Okay. So this is all we need then, because we're passing our event bus thing changes it.
Pretty much. However, you might want to do so. Go back into your event bus. Yeah, you might want to do if this dot event, like if it does not exist yet.
Yep.
I guess it would still work because we're deconstructing, so it should
It's
be
right here.
fine.
Actually,
Yeah,
we're
it
not
should be fine.
deconstructing. We're spreading,
We're spreading. Yeah,
and
sorry.
you're
Yeah.
allowed to spread an undefined.
Um, yeah, it should be fine. Should be fine.
Although, hold on here. Events is an object. Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and so
Okay.
now
So
we just need
then,
to emit an event of some kind and then
so
listen to
right
that event.
at refresh here, we'll
Yeah.
do this dot event bus dot emit change.
Yeah, refresh. This way we're kind of keeping it the same.
Oh, refresh. Okay.
And then you can listen to that in your use effect if you want. And your use effect can return the off function if we have an off function to remove that listener.
Although that would just remove. Now we're getting into some crazy stuff because we don't actually have the ability to do that yet. we'd have to make it so, right? Because right now we're not actually storing, we're just pushing. So if you removed, basically what I'm saying is if we do an off and we pass like refresh, we would remove every single event that they've ever put in with that name, which we obviously wouldn't want to do. We'd want to
It's
remove.
not it's not the event that you remove, it's the listener. Your
Yeah.
event would still be triggered. It's just that there's no listener to it.
No, sorry. So what I'm saying is like imagine. Oh, here I'm just gonna do it. So let's go into calendar. Let's put an off.
I
Okay.
know, but like on
Okay.
your event
Off.
bus,
Off. You said
yeah,
like this.
yeah,
Okay. So now if we go into event bus and we do an off. Okay.
yeah. Because on your event bus, the events array or whatever
Oh,
allows
this
them to go record
actually will work.
is not like relevant because what you're storing inside of the line two is actually just a bunch of listeners. So they're listeners, they're not really events, right?
Yeah.
They're just
Should we
listeners.
change? Should we change this to listeners? Probably should.
Yeah,
Hey?
because the event is just when you call emit. That's what your event is.
Yeah. I actually didn't think they would do this. So basically, we're filtering on the callback matching.
Yeah,
So I think that should be okay. Okay.
right. So now, if you want, you could return and just say like, you know, yeah.
I feel
This
like
way,
we should do
if you
subscribe and
leave the window or
unsubscribe, but
whatever, it would.
it would be cool to return an unsubscribe and then just call it in a return here.
You could, you could return something and then just call that something if you want. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but let's keep it for now and let's see what happens. So now that we're emitting a refresh event, did it fix our problem? I'm going to go with no. No.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, so let's actually console log if it was actually called.
Yeah, it's actually pretty easy to return the callback because in your on method, instead of returning void, you just return a function, and that function calls off with the right
Yeah.
settings, and then you just store that in the variable, and
Yeah,
you're
we
good to
can
go.
basically say like const.
No, no, no! Don't do it here. Don't do it here. Like just do like
Isn't
a
it?
return. Return this. Yeah, just
Yeah, return.
return this, and then the on
Oh,
function on your event bus can do return a function at the very end. There you go. That does this. And this way, when in your use effect, you store it as a variable and you can call that variable.
yeah. So then this becomes okay. Yeah. So this now becomes const
Const unsubscribe,
unsubscribe,
whatever, and then you
and this
call it.
just becomes
Right?
this.
So you can remove the off function from the calendar if you want.
Right. Yeah. And then this is where I actually screwed up. So it should be dot current dot get state. Wait. Oh, this should be set state. Wait. Oh, I see. No, it was update state. I see.
Yeah, but you might need to move that use effect after.
It shouldn't matter.
Yeah, never know.
Okay, let's see what happens. I just want to see if it actually gets called. So let's reload. What did I call it? Refreshed. So no, it did not work. Hmm. Oh, there it is. But it happened afterwards. So if I go back, let's see. I think that's the same one.
Yeah. It still doesn't happen on load, which is the issue we have.
Yeah. What's the deal?
But you see how many times the state has been refreshed? That makes no
Yeah.
sense.
Refreshed state, and then Nazanin inside. That is so weird. Okay. I might mess with this later as well this week. It's bugging me, and we're running out of time.
Mm.
Okay, so set view expected 0 arguments. Did I screw up something in use calendar? Set view. Okay.
It could be some weirdness. Can you restart your server?
Oh, wait. None of these actually do anything. Oh, we do need to update the state immediately because we want to show the different view, but then this will fire off and actually refresh it later. Okay. You wanted me to do what, sir?
To restart your server. Like a new terminal. Just kill
Oh.
it.
Yeah, expected 0 arguments, got 1. What do you mean expected 0? Set
It's...
view.
Oh, go back to your Datekit context. TSX.
Oh, I did get rid of all that stuff. Yeah.
It might be the type here. Yeah. The set view receives a view.
Yeah, I got rid of it because it complains. See? View is defined but never used.
Well, it's a type, so it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter. But maybe those props need to be in the use calendar. I don't know.
What's that previous take? Nothing, right?
Nothing.
Yeah, okay. Remove event needs an ID of string. There we go. Okay. Okay, there we go. I should have fixed it. Looks like it did. Okay. I'm just gonna do month view there. All right.
But yeah, we might
Oh,
need to
actually,
mess around with this a little bit more.
so if we go into the event bus, emit, stop listeners, calendar, this dot event must dot emit refresh. Okay. Name. You just console log and console log the listeners. Okay. So this. Look at that. No listeners.
Hmm. So is our use effect useless inside of the use calendar? Maybe.
Where is use calendar again? This is at the top level? So right in here?
No.
Oh. This is your Datekit context. This is completely different than your use calendar because you're doing like use Datekit here.
Yes.
But then inside of Playground, I think we're using use calendar. So we're using 2 different things. Is calendar the Datekit context? It is the Datekit context, right?
Yeah.
That might be it. So if we go here, this is just Datekit provider taking in calendar, but use Datekit is the one that's switching the view, not use calendar. This might be an issue with that.
Yeah, but what is use date kit?
That's yours. It's from your Datekit context. So it uses this calendar object as its value, and you grab the context. But
Yeah, but
this
you're
this
passing that calendar inside of your playground.
yes. So basically we're using a hook inside a hook. Let's see here. So this guy should return what? Returns dot 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 state, and then it returns all these functions. I'm gonna need to think on this. This one's gonna.
Yeah, there might be some weirdness. Like maybe
I
we do
think
need
it's
to merge the hooks and just
yeah.
have like a single hook to handle everything.
Well, I'm actually wondering maybe use. I think I might have led us the wrong way with the use calendar. I'm kind of wondering if
As you see, I do use calendar, and this returns a calendar that you pass to your UI, right? And so the date kit
yeah.
stuff is just changing that.
I wonder if it's better to well no cuz they need to be able to set the sources inside of function. If this were view, how would you do it? Instead of the use calendar, what would you do instead? You would just instantiate a new calendar, right, in your server and pass it up and
If it
then
was
pass it in.
Vue.js, yeah, you could create like a new, yeah, I would use the class, just do a new calendar or whatever,
Mhm.
just pass it into my component. Yeah.
But that's all on your server, right?
No,
It's not. Okay. I'm just thinking like
like the calendar itself doesn't have to be anywhere near the server.
no, no, no. I'm not saying. I'm not. That's not what I was referring to. If for like for React purposes, like we need to be able to pass it sources or events, which means we need to be able to fetch them either in the server and pass them in, or in the client and pass them in. Like it doesn't matter where we do it. We just need to be able to get those sources so that we can actually pass them to the calendar.
Sure,
So
but that use calendar thing should be a client thing. There's no reason for you to call use calendar on the server.
yeah, yeah. So I was thinking we update calendar this guy with a fetcher. And oh no, that wouldn't work either.
Yes, and I
What
didn't want to do this because you could have calendar and then pass your sources as a prop of calendar.
that's another option. Like what if we did that? Although then you can't have multiple of them. You'd have to have multiple providers. And
But
you
yeah,
said you wanted
that's
to have multiple calendars, right?
potentially, yeah.
Although I guess you'd still have to have multiple providers. Like even if we did add a new calendar here, we'd have to copy this code. We'd call it calendar. Oops,
But this one is
calendar
already a
one.
provider, right?
No, but we'd have to duplicate this and give this calendar one. Like either
Yes.
way, we're duplicating it. So there's actually no harm if we move the sources and the default view and all that stuff right inside here
There isn't, no.
and drop this.
There isn't. But then if you wanted to access that calendar from outside, how would you do it?
If you wanted to access the calendar from outside, so that's where we would provide a hook. So basically, when you say outside, you mean outside of the calendar component, but I would say it would have to be wrapped. So you'd almost have to. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do is like make
Hmm.
sure that no matter what, if I instantiate a calendar anywhere on my page, my header or my footer or my sidebar or whatever can interact with it.
Yeah, you
without having
want
to wrap the entire app into a provider.
yeah, because the way that I say it, like you'd almost have to have a hook, but then if you do it that way, you need to wrap the entire application in some sort of provider so that they can
Yes,
access it.
and I don't want that.
So you want a calendar component that you can control externally.
Yep. Because let's say I have my app with a sidebar and like some pages and whatever, right?
But like we're
The
currently not controlling this externally, right?
right now, no.
If you think about it, like right now, like let me just delete the stuff I added here. Like right now, if I were to throw a sidebar in here, I can't interact with this calendar through that sidebar because
You
this calendar right
could,
here is completely different than how we're handling it on the inside.
I guess. Yeah.
So we almost
I mean, go into the use
by your
calendar hook again.
logic, by your logic, we almost need to make it so that the hook does that this hook does everything, and then the calendar just shows what's there.
Pretty much.
But there's another caveat to this, which is you mentioned being able to access this calendar from multiple places.
Yes. So, like I said, if you have your app
That
and you have your sidebar or whatever, the home page is the dashboard. The dashboard doesn't have a calendar, so it makes no sense for me to have a calendar provider around this entire app because that page doesn't need it. But then when I go on the calendar page, then now I need a calendar. But if in my sidebar I have like, oh, show me today, then I want to be able to control that new calendar that showed up.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
can't
so it's
we?
almost like I'm just trying to think how would we how would you access it? Because if you do it as a hook, right? Like if I use calendar like this, how do I make it so that the next time I call use calendar, I can actually reference the same
They
calendar?
go into the use calendar hook.
Go into this?
Yeah. Well, the problem
Yeah.
is this is
Here.
just your typing. Right. So here, this returns a thing at the very end.
hmm Yes, but when I call use calendar again, I'm not going to get the same calendar. We almost need to figure out a way
True.
of
Yeah.
passing. We almost need to give it like an ID so that when we call it, we can actually grab that
The same
calendar
one. Yeah.
again. Okay. Let me think about this.
I
I got to
mean,
think about this
I
further.
mean, what we could do potentially is, like you said, make the component like really display only. Try to figure out like one hook, which is the use calendar that allows you to control the calendar, whether or not like in the
Yeah.
beginning we do it in the provider, fuck it, and then we realize if we need to call it outside of the provider, how can we do it?
Yeah.
So we
I'm
just
thinking
backtrack a little bit.
yeah, like the way I'm thinking about this is if we can if we can figure out a way of going into our calendar, where is that in playground here? Right in here. I'm thinking about we do this piece right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all we need to do is have like a thing here. Um, not even here actually, but like basically we need a button here that does something like this. And
Mm-hmm.
it actually modifies that calendar by us clicking this. This is what we need to achieve.
Yeah.
This should be
Well,
our next
here in
goal.
this case, it actually would.
I don't think it would. Let's see.
The problem is when you're not in that
What are we
component.
in right now? We're in month view. Okay. Okay, so if I reload, am I running? Yes. Where's
Yeah.
that button?
Well, it's not going to show because the height is adjusted automatically.
The height
So
is adjusted
it's
automatically.
filling the screen. Yeah.
What?
It's filling up the screen.
Oh,
So
geez.
that button is not showing anywhere. Or maybe it's not like it's dark or something. Just put a
Okay.
class on it, like text white or something.
Okay,
There
there
you
we go. Okay, so if I switch to day view, you're saying if I click. Okay.
go. Yeah, but it's because you're in the same component. So you're passing the same calendar object right now. But you're right. If we go into a different component and we call use calendar again, it will be different.
Yep.
So it wouldn't work. And plus,
So
you would have to pass the sources in the default view as well, which still doesn't make any sense, right? So I guess this use calendar is more like a shortcut to create the initial calendar object, which we could literally do in the component if we wanted to. So
yeah, so
I
we
don't mind changing the calendar component to receive sources and the default view. Like fuck it,
yeah, but then it can't be controlled from the outside.
we'll figure that out when we come
Like
to it.
I'm almost thinking we do like a ID here, so we could call this like mycal, right? Like something like this, comma, and then this.
No, 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 no. If we do it right now, we're gonna overcomplicate it. Let's do it with the props like calendar, sources prop, default view prop. We instantiate the calendar in there in that thing, and then we'll figure out a way to get a hook, and that hook can potentially return a calendar if there is an instance existing somewhere. We'll figure out a way, and if
Okay.
not, then whatever.
Well, basically, what I'm saying though is, if the second you pass all that stuff into the calendar component as a prop, you're not going to be able to export something to control it. It's just not. You're not going to be able to do it. The reason we're able to do it right here now is because of the way you've done it. Is the ref. So this calendar is actually getting a reference to. Oh, could that be how we do it? I'm just trying to think how because you don't want them to have to pass the sources every time either. You'd want them to be able to do this like one time
On that page,
on
and
that
then
page.
no matter what happened, they can control it there.
Yeah.
But now that I'm thinking of it, like it's pretty unlikely they would try and control this calendar somewhere else, unless like they're doing the same thing here. Like let's say this is the page that I'm building, and I want extra controls for this calendar to show you like a particular date, for example, like my birthday. And I want to create a button to point you directly to my birthday. I'm going to create a button above and just like try and control this calendar here.
Yep.
That would be the idea. But yeah, it's very unlikely it's going to be anywhere too far in the app. Like most likely it's going to be close to your component.
Hmm. But I do
But
like
you
your
see, this is the
idea.
part. This is the part that annoys me with React so far. Is this whole provider concept?
Oh, yep.
Because in Vue, like you just use a global store and you just do that. Like it just works. You
Your
know,
global store would be wrapping your entire app, though, right? So it's kind of the same thing as a
it doesn't.
provider.
You just pull the store when you need it. It's a thing that's there, and when you need it, you just pull it.
Mm. Is it only client side? That global store?
Mostly, it depends on the library you're using. The most popular one right now is Pina, and you could potentially hydrate your store on the server if you want to.
Mm. Could we use this Zoostand? It's Zoostand, right? Or Zoostand?
We could, but then we introduce a dependency. So
Yes.
my idea was to be able to have a singleton for that particular instance of the component. But I guess because of the provider concept, we're kind of stuck. We can't really do it
Um.
because you would need a different instance of the provider every time, and your calendar
Yeah.
being that provider.
Unless we made it so that you could give us like like almost like a config. Like you tell us how to fetch your sources and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like instead of them building all their sources, passing them in, we have like a config file, and then basically every time you call a hook, you just give the hook a name. We map the name to your config, and we fetch your sources and stuff for you. And now you can control it because based on the name has to be unique. That's the ref of your calendar. So we can access and control each calendar separately.
Yes, but then we make it more complicated to set up.
Yes, we do make it a little bit more complicated, yeah.
Because here the promise it was, hey, you just use calendar to create a calendar, pass it to your component, boom, you have your calendar.
Yep. Yeah, that's fair.
There's no
Okay.
config. You don't have to go in next config dot whatever. You don't have to create your own provider. You don't have to do any of that. It's just right there.
Yeah.
So maybe we should keep it simple and just do that, and whatever we'll see later how we can provide helpers to potentially control or whatever.
Yeah.
Because the way like a full calendar, for example, would do it is that they actually use the window.
Oh, yep. Okay.
So it's fully client side, but your calendar, technically, your instance is in your window.
Yep. Yep.
So they just have to check whether or not it exists on the window, and if it does, then you have a calendar and you can control it.
Yep.
If not, your buttons don't do anything, you know,
Hmm.
because you have buttons outside. Like that's
Okay.
essentially the idea.
Okay. Yeah, let's think about it. I'm probably gonna work on this again during the week if I get a chance, just to see if I can figure out this
Yeah,
emitting.
I mean, we could do a little bit more planning as well to try and kind of like, figure out exactly what are the features that we care about and the ones we don't. Because I
Yes.
didn't really plan on this. Like my initial idea was just, hey, I need a calendar and I need to pass it some events, but I didn't fully think like, oh, what kind of use case do we want to support and stuff like that.
Yeah, which is always the case. Awesome. Okay, yeah, let's come back to this. But
Sounds good. Yeah,
it is time to end this stream.
it is indeed. All right. Okay. So next week, let's do that. Let's try and figure out what the hell we want to do. And I think we're going to go on a little bit of a hiatus as well for the holidays. Um,
Are we?
I don't know. You tell me. um,
I
when do we
thought,
have?
what was the plan
I
here?
mean, you had a calendar in front of you. Datekit was there. Why are you
Hey,
going on
I
Google?
did, but it doesn't have, I mean, we're not showing my screen anymore, but it doesn't have all my calendar events and stuff
I
yet.
know, but
Come on now.
so
So
I
it
don't know,
looks
like
like
23rd,
I've
20, and 30th.
well, I'm available on the 16th for sure. I should be available on the 23rd as well.
Okay.
And the 30th, I'm on vacation. So if you're still wanting to do that daytime stream where we go 8 hours and try and build something,
We could do
that
that.
that one wasn't going to be Datekit. I think we talked about potentially picking like a small project that we would try
Yes,
and complete in 8 hours.
but we would have to pick one.
We would have to pick one. Yes, you're correct. I mean, we've got quite a few. You've got your iceberg one. We've got my release scheduler.
Yeah, but we should start from scratch. Like the idea is, okay, we have an idea, and in 8 hours, let's go as far as we can.
That's fair. That's
We
fair.
could share both our screens. I can try and find a way to share like both of our screens and just try to like, hack like crazy.
Yep. Okay. Well, I mean, we've got one, two, two. Well, three if you include the rest of those days. We got about 3 weeks to figure out a project.
Okay.
I assume you're going to want to throw AI in there somewhere.
Not necessarily, but why not? I mean, I have plenty of ideas on my Notion, so we can pick an idea from there.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
the current top two, I'm gonna tell you. The first one is the Dream Machine, and it's an AI tool where you can enter your dreams, and it's gonna analyze it for you and tell you like what you should know about it and what it could mean for you.
Okay. Okay.
There's three. Sorry, the second one is voice memo to anything. So it's an app that you can record a voice memo, and automatically you can share it anywhere. So you could share it in your Slack, you can put it onto your Google Drive, you can put it anywhere. You just
Mm,
automate this, and all you have to do is record things, and it will automatically go the way where it needs to be.
okay. I also
And
liked
then the
the other one
third
we
one,
chatted. Yep. What's
the
this one?
well, the third one was the and I forgot actually.
The one that
um,
I liked, I think we chatted about was
oh, it's the link stuff. The link stuff.
yes,
Yeah.
that's the one. That's the one. The one where you can, if you find an Instagram post or you find a Facebook post or you find a
Yes.
YouTube short or a YouTube video or whatever you find, you can just share it to your profile essentially
Yeah.
and categorize them. This would be
And
huge
auto
for me.
categorize them.
Yes, this would
Or what we
be
could do,
awesome.
and hear me out, what we could do is you you can have an app on your phone, you can share to it. So when you share a link to it, like the share sheet on the phones,
Yep.
you can do like share up, you click the app, and you can categorize it yourself if you want, and that's the free version. You just do that, and boom, we put it into a database and you have access to it. Or we create like a small plan that's pretty cheap, and we use AI to auto categorize the shit and
Yeah.
potentially offer workflows as well. Like,
And
hey, if I tag this link with a particular tag, then also push it to Slack or also push it to another thing. Like do some kind of workflow stuff.
yep.
That I
And
think could be interesting.
And if I remember correctly, we were talking about doing it as an app, a website, and a Chrome extension.
Well, my guess is we need the website to be able to review those links and search them, like chat with them, because that was the whole point, to use AI to be able to chat with it and be like, hey, I don't remember, but I found this link about like I don't know, some kind of app, an AI, blah blah blah, and the AI would be able to answer like, oh, these are the links that you kind of saved and
Yeah.
could be relevant.
So
So
we
the
could
web app
start with
is
the
helpful, but we need the phone app so you can share to it
yeah.
and potentially
Well,
consume those links too from your app.
yeah.
And then the Chrome extension, same thing. It's like you're visiting a link and you use the Chrome extension to add that link to your bookmarks, right?
Yeah. It's definitely gonna take longer than 8 hours, but I feel
It
like we
depends
could
on what we do. I
yeah,
feel like we could just focus on the web app for those 8 hours. So you
yep.
create an account, you have a page that shows you an URL field. You enter, you copy paste the URL, and we auto categorize it. We put it into the database, and we have the chat where you can chat with it.
Okay.
But if we use AI, we gotta charge people because it's gonna cost us way too much.
Yes, it's fair.
Or we do some kind of like bring your own OpenAI key or whatever.
Also fair. Okay. Cool. Yeah, let's chat about that and figure out kind of MVP
I think this
and
one is easy in terms of MVP because it's really
yeah,
like take the link, categorize it, put it into a DB with a vector,
yeah,
be able to talk to it.
yeah. Yeah, the
Simple
hardest part
enough.
of this, which we wouldn't even do in this first iteration, would be the app, the sharing on an app. Unless it's changed in the few years it's been since the last time I tried it. The sharing on say like Expo or something wasn't actually there. You had to
That's
do a
why we need
fresh
to use
React Native
freaking.
app.
That's why we need to
Don't
use Flutter, man.
don't you dare say Flutter. Absolutely
Yes,
not.
because that API is very simple in Flutter,
Oh,
and it
no.
works on both sides, Android, iOS, no
No.
problem.
No. Flutter's dead, man.
It's
Flutter's
not.
dead.
It's not. It's great. Plus, it's a simple app. Like we don't need to build that much.
I know many people that would disagree with you.
Yeah, but those people, are they shipping? I shipped apps with Flutter.
When's your last one?
Speakbox was the last one.
Oh, did you use Flutter for that?
Yeah, like we had a mobile app with Speakbox for like 2 years.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, if you've got the experience with Flutter, as you know, do not. I think I
I
tried it
think we can
once, and I
start
was
easy.
like, React Native was nice.
We can start easy because I'm guessing the vast majority of people that we're targeting, because they're most likely devs like us and just finding a bunch of shit and just want to save it, I
Yep.
think the web app and the Chrome extension is probably the easiest.
Yeah, it's fair.
And then if we want to expand to a more generic demographic, that's when we would need the app.
Yep. Okay.
So in the beginning, we can just start with the web app. And if we target devs, we can even give them an API, you know? So just give him an API, a CLI tool, or whatever, like just something that captures the link. That's all we need.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Well, until next time, this was great.
Yep. All right. Well, I'm going to end the stream here. So see you later, folks.
Thanks for coming.
All right. We are